What up, guys? Coming at you with another episode of Santa Cruz Medicinals Radio. Got my buddy Dylan here.
What's up?
Damn, back in the flesh, man. I mean, shit, back when I first saw you, I was not living in San Diego, and now I'm here, so we can hang out a lot more, go lift, all that shit. What's been up lately, dude? You ran a marathon with no training.
Yeah, that was out of pride, ego.
I would have advised
well,
against that.
I texted you. I was like, yo, you want to run a marathon?
Yeah, I was like, no. yeah.
I mean, it's a fair response. Definitely a fair response. Well,
Also, if I had gone, maybe, and you'd be like, it's in like 2 days. Yeah.
Well, I definitely didn't plan any of it. My buddy Mike, higher up wellness, he was like, I ran a marathon. He got a 3 hours and 54 minutes or 48 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
And I was like,
I know like 3 hours or less is like a really
unreal.
good time.
That's unreal.
Like that. Okay, that's like
I was like,
high
dude,
level
that's
time.
an 8:30 pace. Like, dude, I can beat that.
Yeah.
Like, I ran my fastest mile ever was 5 minutes. I did that in high school. I was like, all right, dude, that's nothing.
Yeah,
I'm an
I got
athlete.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
in good shape. Like,
Yep.
I don't do cardio, but I can do it. And so I made a post, and I was just giving him like, it was a little banter, a little banter back and forth. Where I was like, hey, I can beat your time. Like 100%. I'm an athlete. I'm in peak male performance. Like, I got this. He's like, there's no shot. And I was
Goggins
like,
mentality, bro.
so I woke up at like 4 a.m. before the heat, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna run it. And so I was beating him at the start. I was at like an 8-minute pace for 8 miles, and
That's insane right off the bat, but yeah.
well,
No training.
I went through a lot of like excuses in my head. I thought, hey, I'm at 8 miles. I'm like 205 pounds. No one's gonna give me crap. Like you just said, like 8 miles, that's pretty good. So I made so many excuses for myself in my head constantly. Like, dude, just stop. No one cares.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna like. You'll get a little backlash. No big deal. It's your first time running, nothing like that. So I thought it was pretty cool to like go past the barrier of the aspect of quitting.
Okay, so you're like 8 miles in, you're like thinking already, like your brain's doing the excuses thing, which anybody who's exercised hard knows that conversation in the brain. 15 miles in, what's going on?
That's when I started. Well, actually, I don't know if you know this. When you run, your body kind of after 12 to 13 miles or like an hour or two in, your body gets really weird where like you have to go to the bathroom really bad. I was getting shakes and goosebumps everywhere. And so I had to go to the bathroom, and that was not great. It messed up my time. I started getting cold. And right when I went out, I wanted to go back on my pace. And that's when it started falling downhill.
Yeah.
My first step, my calf and hamstring was shot.
Yeah, bro.
Damn. I did not prepare for this.
Yeah.
So eventually I called him because you're supposed to hold a conversation like that's the pace you should be able to sustain.
Yeah.
So I started trying to call people because I was so over music. No one was picking up at 6 a.m.
yeah.
And so I called Mike. He was on Eastern time. So he's like, am I going to beat you? And I was like, sadly.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to quit because you can walk 26 miles.
Sure.
You can walk it.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing like a 11-minute pace. Horrid, whatever.
It's still insane.
Did it though.
Yeah.
Happy about that. I'm actually training now for it as like a hybrid athlete, quote unquote. It's kind of trendy right now. It's fun.
Dude, the hybrid athlete thing is going off. I mean, we had Fonzie in here who's like, hybrid athlete. But, people say like I do the Santa Cruz does the hybrid athlete training. It's like I did get sort of into bodybuilding when I first started hanging out with like the Ekko crew because like I learned a lot about bodybuilding from people like you, Ryan Jewers, TNF. And first of all, it helped me train weightlifting without getting injured or feeling sore. You do jiu-jitsu, I do jiu-jitsu, you do a bunch of other shit. So you know that feeling of like you wake up next day after not lifting properly and you're like, oh, this sucks, or this is how my elbow or chest should feel after lifting. No, I would like avoid the machines.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid. I just kind of thought like I was into functional fitness and stuff. And yeah, there's aspects of like, kettlebells help you stabilize and all this stuff. And there's truth to that somewhat. But just to put on muscle, you just need to create like a really stable environment. And when I worked out with you, I started to realize, oh, like I don't feel fucked up the next day. I just feel sore like in the muscle belly. But yeah, the hybrid athlete thing, like I don't even know what it means.
It's not. I think
It's like you do cardio and weightlifting.
It's misrepresented for sure because all these guys that are super jacked doing it primarily used to do bodybuilding. Then they switched to hybrid athlete, and it's giving the message of, hey, you can gain all this muscle doing this hybrid athlete stuff. It's actually the most conducive way to do it because look how many jacked guys are running, all these guys. And it's not conducive.
No, yeah.
Definitely don't think it's... Don't get me wrong. You do not lose gains doing cardio. That's a myth, all that stuff. But if you primarily just want to put on muscle, we've both talked about it, like
Yeah.
you're very lethargic. You can sit down most of the day and gain muscle. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy. It's actually a lot better to get just only 10,000 steps a day.
For
So
sure.
you don't have to eat as much food, all that extra nutrients you don't need. You can recover better. You're not putting all the stress on your body. But it is fun. I like the competitive aspect. I
Yeah.
like mental training and stuff like that. That's why I like the hybrid athlete. It's not this thing. It's like, wow, putting on so much muscle.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I would get like when I got to my heaviest, I was just like going into the gym, doing long rests between sets, training really hard, but not doing the cardio. Like I was doing a lot less jujitsu, mountain biking, and these surfing and these things I like to do, which are cardio. Because I was like, well, I want to see like what type of muscle I can put on, and I did start to put on size, but then you look into the research on just like cardiorespiratory fitness and VO2 max and how those correlate with longevity, and I'm like, just heart health in general, and I'm like, well, I don't think it's a trade off I want to make like in my life. So just like, kind of like dropped that, left that behind. I might do like a bulk of this winter, but I'm not going to sacrifice the cardio.
Well, people also don't understand 250 pounds is 250 pounds to your heart if it's fat or muscle.
Yeah.
It's like you're holding that much weight.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it's not healthy. No matter how lean you are, being 220, 230, 240, these areas are still very unhealthy for longevity.
You never see old people who are 6'8", 250. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
big people just, I'm 5'8", dog, and hey, I'm gonna be old. Okay.
Yeah, I also do care about the health aspect, and I love being healthy and doing athletic things. Like I love playing volleyball, I love playing spike ball, I like doing jiu-jitsu, I like doing athletic things, I like doing competitive things.
Yeah.
Just sitting down in the gym is not my thing. I don't want to compete in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so why would I train just for that?
Yeah, like when I'm going to the gym, I don't get that fluttering feeling that I do when I'm going to like a hard jiu-jitsu practice.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's like I'm chilling. Like if I can't lift the same amount of weight as you, it's like not even like a thing. But like, you go to jiu-jitsu or even like mountain biking and surfing will sometimes give me that fluttering feeling where I'm like, oh shit, the waves are big, or I'm mountain biking. I love that feeling.
Well, also just going outside, doing different things, because the gym is very repetitive and very boring.
Yeah, 100%.
Putting on muscle, not hard. Well, I shouldn't say that because it's hard for some people that don't know the learning curve, but you can gain muscle sitting in the gym all day.
Dude, I feel like a lot of people forget about the stuff that you preach and I talk about, everybody in the fitness community talks about, but there are like certain rules to putting on muscle that people just don't know.
Yeah.
Like you have to train hard to failure or close to failure to like optimize. It just makes like your life so much easier putting on muscle. I don't know as far as the research goes. I'm sure you could put on muscle not training to failure, but like goddamn, like it's so much easier.
Effective ways to do stuff.
Yeah,
more efficient.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I got you some of our sun balm right there.
Yeah,
stoked on that.
So actually, I have a question for you. So I know I help people lose weight and gain weight.
Yeah,
that's my specialty.
Yep.
I know your specialty is more in the health realm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like you care a lot more about the cancerous diseases, microplastics,
100%. Yeah, I like nerd out on a lot of stuff.
So my question would be, I've done some research on sunscreen. So sunscreen, not gonna be exact, don't quote me on this, but since sunscreen's been invented, cancer of skin cancer, melanoma, whatever, it's gone up 27%.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a causation or a correlation? Because hey, I'm protected from the sun. I'm gonna be in the sun more. So in turn, I'm gonna get more cancer. Or would you say it's more of the chemicals inside the sunscreen?
Skin cancer is one of the most fascinating topics. Like, so we have a lot of people in sort of like, I would say my community, the people that are into like ancestral eating and stuff that are very anti any sun protection. They almost don't believe that the sun can cause cancer. That is bullshit. The sun absolutely can cause cancer. Skin cancer is real.
It's the number one aging thing in the world.
Yeah. Like it can mess you up 100%. So that's like an extreme side of it. And then the other extreme side is these people that say, even when you're in your house and there is, you're indoors, you should be applying chemical-based sunscreen. And there's two types of sunscreen. The chemical-based ones, which were invented about 40 years ago, and you'll see chemicals like oxybenzone, avobenzone, homosalate, octocrylene. Those are the common chemical-based ones. And then there's mineral-based, which has been around for a long time, probably longer than chemical-based sunscreens. Most common ingredient there is zinc oxide or non-nano zinc oxide. Sometimes they'll put titanium dioxide. The mineral-based ones create a physical barrier. Sun hits you, it reflects off. The chemical-based ones absorb the UV rays and disperse them as heat in the body.
So when you see those UV index ones where it almost looks like someone's doing blackface on the UV thing.
Yeah,
why is that?
Yeah, so when it's like the coat, like you actually see it on your face, that is a mineral-based sunscreen.
Gotcha.
That's why people like the chemical-based ones because like girls are like, I don't want to have like a white, like, like the coat on me. So like they do the chemical based ones, and like the high end skincare products are usually chemical based because you can't tell that they're on there. Now, there is some pretty damning research on the chemical based sunscreens. These compounds crossing the blood-brain barrier, these compounds affecting your endocrine system, these compounds, when they react with chlorine, some bad stuff happens. You can look up avobenzone, oxybenzone. Maybe we'll have it pop up right here. What happens when they react with chlorine, which is very dicey because pool, sun.
That's
like
literally where people most of the time wear it.
And then from like a surfer's point of view, you surf, they ruin the health of the reef and they kill marine life. This has been well established, multiple PubMed papers on this. So Hawaii's banned them, Florida's banned them. And the thing is, if you listen to Huberman talk about sunscreen, I'm sort of in the same camp of you should protect yourself from the sun. I do not think everybody needs to wear sunscreen every day, like every single day at all hours of the day. I have slightly darker skin. My buddy Joe, you saw Joe. He has very white skin. He's going to need to be more protected than I am. But I think you should use a mineral-based sunscreen. I would not take the risk of these chemical-based ones. This is a hunch. This is an assumption. I think in 10 years we'll be like, oh, we fucked up. We really, really messed up having people spray this all over themselves.
It seems to be the case most of the time in the health realm, or even anything. You would see doctors. I know this is the thing everyone says, but like doctors pushed cigarettes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And what do you know? 10 years later,
yeah,
they're not great for you.
Yeah. And you see that with like eggs. Like we told people to not eat eggs because of saturated fat and cholesterol, and eggs are going to clog your arteries.
Well, did you see Time Magazine's actually switching where they said butter's back?
Yeah. Yeah, the big thing, the butter. Yeah, they compared the two. The Time Magazine, I think it was in the 70s, where it was like butter with like a big like red X through it. Now it's like butter is back. And it's shifted too much. Like we were talking about, like people that eat like a stick of butter a day and stuff, and they like don't care that their LDL gets like extremely high or their cholesterol gets extremely high. I'm not in that camp, and like that's why I do eat like fruits and veggies and foods that, and olive oil, stuff like that. But I'm also definitely not in the camp of, if you eat some butter or eggs, it's going to clog your arteries and you're going to die.
Do you think it's the Dunn-Kruger effect?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, well, okay, so a lot of people with high cholesterol in these survey-based studies, how did they get their cholesterol high in the United States? They ate a combination of high fat, high sugar. They probably have high inflammatory biomarkers, bad HbA1c, and like blood glucose. They're probably not metabolically healthy. I was looking at research of just people's VO2 max and their cardiorespiratory fitness and how it correlates with heart attacks. Duh. Guess what? When your heart is healthy, you have a healthier heart. Like this isn't like...
Well, when I say the Dunn-Kruger effect, I don't know if I'm quoting the exact effect, but it's the theory that it's like a chart. So basically, when you learn something new, your confidence is here, but your knowledge is down here.
Yeah.
Then the more you learn, it actually goes down to here, and then you become an expert. And you're actually not even back to the level of the fact that you were starting at with no knowledge.
Yeah.
So with social media, people have this confidence like no other.
Oh, for sure.
And they'll say like, I need a stick of butter a day to have my healthy fats, and I get my omega-3s through this fat. And then they just preach it to everyone. And those people that speak with confidence, you can kind of see it through the screen. When someone's so confident about something, you want to believe them more.
Yeah.
And I think that effect is also in social media. I don't know if it's the Dunn-Kruger or something like that. But
I mean, 100%. That effect is for sure real. And you'll have people say that like, just eat as much butter as you want. You don't have to worry about LDL at all. That's definitely not true. There's just no way that that's
that
true.
One, I will say, I've tried to research into this, the LDA or
LDL.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to have a direct answer yet.
Yeah, I think the most fair answer, I think Peter Attia said, like, we don't fully know what's going on with cholesterol. There's, markers like ApoB that they're finding are correlated with heart disease. There are people that go their whole lives with pretty high cholesterol and never get a heart attack. There's people that have low cholesterol, low LDL, and have heart attacks. I wouldn't say we really know. I think it all comes back to the basics. Like actual scientists who you hear talk, it's kind of boring because they will never actually tell anybody like anything to grasp onto. So I feel like people are frustrated with that.
They also speak with so many nuances that it doesn't matter.
And it's like fair to do. It's fair to go, we don't really know what's going on with cholesterol. You should probably somewhat limit your saturated fat and not have high cholesterol, but like we don't really, But for me, I'm like, I would rather give people like stuff to grasp onto, which is like, you probably don't need to fear eggs and butter and red meat in moderation. And even a decent amount of it, I would say, if you're healthy. And what I think is in like 10, 15 years, we'll find a bunch more out about heart health where there's different biomarkers we're looking at. It's not just HDL, LDL. You're going to have heart disease in 10 years because it's high. It's not that simple, probably.
I think people also shouldn't be extremist on everything. I think everything should be in moderation because I tried the carnivore diet. it's not worth it with the bowels. Like
Yeah.
the bowel movements are not
No.
great. Definitely not worth it in my opinion. But you'll see someone like Joe Rogan, nothing against him, but he preaches
He preached
carnivore.
it hard. Yeah.
And it's just personally, I think you're missing a lot of things. Like carb sources should not be avoided at all costs.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
just try to
I eat a good amount of carbs.
yeah,
Yeah.
potatoes have great fiber, great
Yeah.
micronutrients. It's amazing. Tastes
Yep.
great. I think it tastes amazing.
Tastes so good.
I
Yeah.
think it's better than rice even.
Dude, and like, you know, I got my degree in anthropology and focused in medical anthropology, and like human beings are omnivores, bro. We are designed to eat a bunch of different stuff.
Mhm.
We're not carnivores. You can
Mhm.
look at the mouth of a carnivore, like look at a lion. Like we're not that,
Mhm.
you know, and we're definitely not herbivores. We don't have 4 stomachs. We're not ruminant animals. So it's like we can digest a lot of stuff, and yeah, to just like completely eliminate that shit. It's
Well,
crazy.
The issue nowadays too is like Joe Rogan has a platform because he says things that are outlandish sometimes, and people say outlandish things to get views.
Yeah.
Because that's what social media is, and no one, dude, who's going to PubMed?
Yeah,
You really
not a lot
think
of
someone's
people.
going to watch this podcast and be like, well, actually, look at Dylan's research. Is it 27% or is it
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
28%
yeah.
on their cancer rising?
Nobody cares.
No one's
Yeah.
going to PubMed or NCBI. No one's
Yeah.
doing that. So the fact that people consume primarily through social media and get educated primarily through social media, it sucks because extreme views do get more views.
It's
we
total
both know
facts,
this.
bro. I completely agree with you, and it's honestly like why over the last like 2-3 years, like I changed a lot of my content.
Mhm.
Like I'm like less harsh now.
Mhm.
Like the diet soda thing, I came out about diet sodas. I'm like, you know what? This is not fair. If somebody loses weight drinking diet soda, wouldn't that be a good thing?
Yeah, there's actually a study on that.
Like, yeah, no, there's a bunch of studies on it, and like that's the thing, man. You got to be fair in like social media, and you also have to like give advice that works for a lot of people. Like I feel like you do with fitness. Like you could pretty much take anybody and help them with their fitness.
Mhm.
Anybody. They don't have to be in some specific niche. They don't have to be doing anything. And I wanted to do that same thing with my stuff about nutrition and health. I want somebody to be able to get healthy doing what I do.
Mhm.
And so if you preach something very fucking specific or, oh, you have to do this, you have to avoid seed oils. No, you don't. I eat seed oils sometimes.
Mhm.
But it's like, yeah, it's like better to cast like a broad net and help more people, I think.
I agree. I went more mainstream recently as well.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot more things that attract more of a mainstream audience, and I'm trying to be less into studies. I'll use studies, but I won't like quote them. I'll try to hit the masses more. I won't be extreme on the views. I won't speak on absolutes for sure.
Yeah.
I used to speak in a lot of absolutes, and I definitely pulled back on that a lot in the aspect of I said fitness was easy, and that was just an immature thought to say for sure.
Yeah, it's hard for some people, bro. I was just looking at this study. The better basically your cardio, this is a very simplified version of it. Basically, the better your cardio gets, literally your body produces more mitochondria. So you have more energy and you have the more like potential for energy as your cardio goes up. So part of it you think like, and you're like, I'm getting in really good shape, so my cardio is getting better. But your literal cells are able to produce more energy. So it's like the person who's really out of shape and like, dude, I'm tired. Like now I'm like, I believe you. Like your mitochondria is fucked. Like you're tired.
I think that's the same effect that I was talking about earlier, that it just, we learned and we preached it. And it's like, we didn't learn to the full aspect of like everyone, and we didn't see everyone else. We just thought like very narrow minded, at least in my thought, at least.
Totally.
I was very narrow minded and so blunt and so absolute. And it just really shot myself in the foot with it.
No, totally. I completely agree, man. I resonate with that because it's like, I was definitely like, I'm doing stuff that works really well for me. I fix a lot of health issues. And I think that's like, you know, Paul Saladino's content.
Yeah, he actually went back on carnivore.
Bro, I think that is his thing. He probably has autoimmune issues and he cut out all these foods, and like plant defense chemicals probably affect him a lot when he eats them. I believe him when he's like, when I eat a little bit of kale, it messes me up. But to tell everybody to do that is dicey.
Well, that's why anecdotal theories are not great.
Yeah, they're not.
I think they're the worst thing ever. And that's why fitness gets such a bad rap, because you see a shredded guy on the Instagram. He'll be a fitness coach. He'll make millions a year because he's shredded.
Yeah.
And he lost weight. Let me tell you, the people that are shredded on Instagram probably have the most unhealthy diet you'll ever see in your life. It's not sustainable. They're only doing it because they're money driven. I've been in that boat. I've maintained like a shredded physique. I was malnourished. I felt horrible. My testosterone was
You had to lean
in the
out.
200s.
Yeah, bro. You had to lean out. Like it just wrecks the
And
test, bro. It's crazy.
you can lose weight versus losing fat. I've always said that.
Yeah.
You can starve yourself.
Yeah.
And look amazing. Do you feel amazing? No. Is that sustainable? No. Are you losing muscle? Yes. It's the worst thing.
It's
But
facts, bro.
these people will be like, look what happened with me.
Yeah.
I starved myself, so you better listen to me. If you're not losing weight as me as a coach, it's your fault. It's not mine. It's yours.
No, dude, it's true. And it's about how you feel. I know you got to go, so I'm going to ask you one more thing. For Ekko, what's in the future for Ekko? Is there anything that you guys are working on lately? Or anything you
share. I don't know.
Okay, anything you released just recently that's popping off. I've seen your guys, obviously the creatine, the energy drinks.
Oh, I mean,
the clothing, dude. I have the Ekko cutoff, super high quality stuff.
Personally, I actually don't rock with the cutoff because I have gyno, and it's a very thin material.
Okay,
but if you don't have gyno, it's great. I mean.
The Ekko beaters are fire. What else you guys?
I honestly don't know what to promote, and I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
yeah.
So we'll keep it at that, so I don't get in trouble.
You need to do the Ekko shoes, man. This guy's wearing the most busted shoes. Can you make like a wide toe box shoe?
I'm big on wide toe shoes. That's something I don't talk about, but
Let's get the Dylan O'Brien ones out there, bro. Wide toe box.
I'm not trying to get bunions, bro.
Yeah,
dude. Imagine going to jiu-jitsu with bunions.
Oh my god, no one would want to. Hey, no one would want to footlock you. They'd be like, hell no. This shit.
Imagine they just try to strain it out and then just tap.
It would be fucking nasty. All right. Homie has to get out. We spent too long at the gym doing back. You guys will see some of those back day clips. But stoked to have this dude around, man. Now I'm like in his area so we can serve. We can go to jiu-jitsu. We can lift. Stoked, brother. Thank you so much. Much love, guys. Leave your questions below because we'll have him back because he lives not too far away.
Not too close, you guys.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Peace.